Hello everyone, today we are going to start with Python programming language, which is a free and open source scripting language. In this particular topic we'll talk about installation of Python interpreter or IDLE, and we'll start with Python IDLE and talk about its interactive mode as well as script mode. We'll also talk about Python libraries, and in the end we'll also discuss about Python Anaconda. Now first of all, let's begin with installation of the Python interpreter, and it is available on python.org. When we type python.org in the address bar of our browser, this home page will appear, and when we click on the download tab of this page, another download page will appear to us, and this has the download link for Python's latest version, which is 3.8.2, released on February 24, 2020. But one can download Python version as per his or her machine's configuration and operating system, and whether it is Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac OS and all, everything is available here. So next we'll talk about Python IDLE. IDLE is actually integrated development and learning environment, which is a standard Python development environment, and it can be used in two ways, interactive as well as script mode. In interactive mode, it allows us to interact with the operating system. It's like interpreter is working, so we can type directly the command or the code on the prompt, and it will directly give us the result. Whereas in the script mode, we'll create, edit and save a source file of the program, and which can be run as per the requirement of the programmer. Now interactive mode of Python, when we install Python IDLE from python.org and we launch it, and after we launch it, this Python shell will appear with a prompt, this 3 arrow kind of prompt, and on this prompt we can type any command. Also here we have only typed a license function, which has given us the license information about the this Python IDLE, and here you can see it's an open source license. Now Python interactive mode, as it allows us to interact with the operating system, it is very simple. Like if on the prompt we write a is equal to 3, b is equal to 4, it simply assigns 3 to a and 4 to b, and then when we type a into b, it gives us the output 12. So it's interpreter type of language, so it's very fast. So and this hash has been used as a comment statement, which is a non-executable statement. We can use it on the prompts also. So next, here you see the practical application of what we have already discussed. When we run this thing in IDLE, it will look like this. It's same as already discussed. So now we'll talk about an interactive mode which is online, because IDLE was the offline interactive mode. If we don't have access to our desktop or laptop, we can use pythonanywhere.com, where we can just click on the start running Python online button, and it will take us to a beginner account, where it asks for a basic information which can be registered on this website. Immediately a prompt of Python button appears. When we click it, the similar kind of console will be provided to us. We can type our code here. So it's like that. Now we'll talk about the Python libraries. The Python which we have already discussed is only basic Python, but Python has very powerful and versatile libraries, which when added to the Python, it becomes a very powerful language, and that is why it is actually very popular. Because see the main libraries like NUMPY, SCIPY, Matplotlib, Pandas. These are 4 main libraries. So we'll talk about them in the next slide. See, NUMPY means numerical Python. It deals with the complex matrices and multi-dimensional array-based problems. Whereas SCIPY is your scientific Python, which deals with complex scientific problems like optimization, linear algebra, integration, interpolation, special function FFT, signal, and image processing, whereas matplotlib is visualization library where graphical representation of data happens. It's similar to the graphs or chart which we plot through spreadsheet on the basis of the data. So it can also be done in the Python. So Panda is the data manipulation and analysis library which offers data structure and operation for manipulating the numerical tables and time series. And in order to install these libraries, we use pip installer and import these library to use their function. But every time we want, we have to use those function, we have to install and import. This procedure is time consuming, and if we want to avoid this installation and import procedure to use these libraries, we can use Anaconda. So Anaconda is actually a big Python which contains everything. It's an entire suite which has basic Python, NumPy, SCIPY, Matplotlib and Panda, everything in one place. And in addition to this, it has many more things add-ons. So in order to use Anaconda, anaconda.com, we visit this site and we press the download button here. And as we press here, we can see here many tools here. Like Jupyter and Spider are basically editors to type your Python code. We can run them on real time basis to get output, and Pandas we can see Matplotlib, SCIPY, NumPy, everything we can see. So when we go to Jupyter, as we launch the Anaconda, this is a kind of IDLE actually. So it is a web-based interactive computing notebook environment where we can edit and run the code of Python. And we can also save this Python, this Jupyter notebooks for future references. Now, when we launch this Jupyter notebook 5.5.0, it will open a default browser which will show a root directory path, which is a local host 8.8.9/3. And in this root directory, we have many folders where we can save our programs. Now we move ahead. Now we click on the new button. There we found Python 3. We can click on this. As we click on this, another untitled window opens in the browser, and here we can see this input window is there. Now here in this input box, we can write our code, and we can get the output of that code on a real time. See here, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 10, print a plus b. The color coding is also there in the Jupyter notebook, which allows us to differentiate between operators, operands, and variables and all. And as soon as we press the run button, and or other option is like shift plus enter, the keyboard shortcut, and we'll get the result. Now next we'll talk about the script mode, which allows the users to type a Python program in a file and use the interpreter to execute the content of the file. We'll talk about the comment statement also again. So here in the Python shell itself, when we launch IDLE, we'll take this file. In the file menu, we'll select new window. As we hit this, we'll get this untitled window where we can type our program. Here comes the hash button again. Hash button is used, as we have already discussed, is a comment statement, non-executable statement, which won't be executed, but only is there for reference of the programmer. So length is equal to 20, breadth is equal to 20, print length into breadth. So it is area of rectangle basically. So we save this file, save as. We give it a name rect, but .py. .py extension means it's a Python executable file, and we save it. Now we want to run it. We just go to the run menu and run module button, or we can just hit the F5 button shortcut. So we'll have that this kind of output in a different output Python shell, which is interactive code window. But another way of doing it to go to the command prompt in Windows and on this cmd.exe and just type Python file name and press enter like I did this. So it will give me the result. It is as simple as that. So for references related to this topic, you can refer these quality references. Feel free to ask any question on the Python. See you in the next slide.